The Bellagio opened in 1998 and instantly became the crown jewel of the Las Vegas Strip. The most luxurious, most elegant, most iconic casino resort in the world. 27 years later, it's still standing. The fountains still dance. The lobby still has fresh flowers. It's still profitable. But something has changed. The Bellagio isn't what it used to be, and everyone who stayed there recently knows it. This isn't a story about failure. It's a story about what happens when even the best properties get older, when corporate priorities shift, and when competition gets fierce. This is why Bellagio isn't the crown jewel anymore. When Steve Wynn opened the Bellagio in October 1998, it cost $1.6 billion to build, the most expensive hotel ever constructed at that time. It wasn't just another casino, it was art. An 8-acre lake with choreographed fountains, a botanical garden that changed seasonally, a gallery with actual Picassos and Van Goghs, restaurants by world-renowned chefs. The Bellagio proved that Las Vegas could be sophisticated, elegant, a destination for people who wanted luxury, not just cheap buffets and nickel slots. For years, Bellagio set the standard that everyone else tried to match. When it opened, room rates started at $150, expensive for Vegas in 1998. But people paid it, because staying at the Bellagio meant something. The property attracted high rollers, celebrities, and tourists who wanted the best Vegas had to offer. It became the most recognizable building on the Strip after the lights of Fremont Street. Every casino that opened after Bellagio, Wynn, Venetian, Aria, Cosmopolitan, was trying to recreate what Bellagio had achieved: class, sophistication, timeless elegance. The MGM era MGM acquired Bellagio in 2000 when they bought Mirage Resorts. For years, MGM continued investing in the property, maintaining its reputation as the flagship of their portfolio. But then something started to shift. In 2019, travel writers visiting Bellagio noted rooms that didn't quite live up to the resort's hype, and felt like its best days were behind it. Guest reviews mentioned bathrooms that quickly showed their age, grout that was nasty, tile that felt dirty, and weak shower heads in spaces that felt like a waste. These weren't catastrophic failures, just aging. The kind of wear that happens to any 25-year-old building. But for a property charging $300 plus per night and marketing itself as ultra-luxury, it was noticeable. MGM did respond. In 2023, they announced a $110 million renovation of the Spa Tower's 819 rooms and 104 suites. The work was completed by October 2024. But here's the thing. While the Spa Tower got renovated, not all 3,933 rooms have been updated. Some towers still have older rooms, and renovations, while beautiful, came with trade-offs. The new rooms are undeniably more modern. Cleaner lines, contemporary design, inspired by Lake Como and northern Italy. But MGM made some controversial choices. They removed the separate tub and shower, replacing them with one large shower. They removed desks in favor of multi-function tables. They reduced amenities. Guest reviews noted amenities were really downsized unless staying in suites, with rooms now just getting shampoo, conditioner, lotion, and a bar of soap. For some guests, this felt like cost-cutting disguised as modernization. Here's where things get complicated. In 2019, MGM sold the Bellagio to Blackstone Group for $4.2 billion in a leaseback deal. MGM pays Blackstone $245 million per year in rent, but continues to operate the property. This financial restructuring helped MGM pay down debt. But it also changed incentives. When you own a property, you invest in it for long-term value. When you're leasing it and paying rent, you're more focused on short-term profitability. Some industry observers worried this would lead to deferred maintenance and reduced capital investment. And in some ways, it has. When Bellagio opened in 1998, nothing else came close. By 2025, it's surrounded by properties that match or exceed its luxury level. Wynn and Encore, opened 2005 and 2008, are newer and feel fresher. Aria, opened 2009, has more modern technology and design. The Cosmopolitan, opened 2010, attracted a younger, hipper crowd. Resorts World, opened 2021, is brand new. Bellagio is competing against properties that learned from its playbook and improved on it. MGM CEO Bill Hornbuckle noted in 2025 that high-end resorts like Bellagio, Aria, and Cosmopolitan aren't feeling the pressures, and room rates at Bellagio increased 4%. So financially, Bellagio is still performing well. It's not struggling. High rollers are up 25% year over year, but there's a difference between performing well financially and being the undisputed crown jewel. Bellagio makes money, but it's no longer clearly the best. It's one of several great options. And for a property that once stood alone at the top, that's a decline. In March 2024, Bellagio became part of Marriott Bonvoy, replacing its partnership with World of Hyatt. For some guests, this is great. Marriott Bonvoy has more members, but it also commodifies the property. Bellagio becomes another Marriott property, not a singular destination. The mystique fades a bit when it's just another place to redeem points. Let's be clear, Bellagio isn't failing. In 2024, Bellagio's RevPAR, revenue per available room, was around $365 plus, about 53% higher than the luxury upscale market average and nearly double the overall Strip average. The property generates approximately $1 billion plus in annual revenue and remains extremely profitable. The fountains are iconic. The property is still beautiful. Guests still enjoy staying there. Labor expenses rose 16% plus in 2023 due to union contracts. Utilities, insurance, and property taxes saw double-digit increases, while revenue plateaued in 2024 to 25. Expenses keep climbing, squeezing profit margins. MGM is caught in a bind. They need to invest to maintain standards, but every dollar invested reduces profit. And as a leaseback property paying $245 million annual rent, they're incentivized to maximize short-term cash flow. Here's the real issue. Bellagio's biggest problem isn't what's actually wrong with it. It's the gap between what people expect and what they experience. If you've never been to Bellagio before, you'll probably think it's beautiful and enjoy your stay. But if you remember Bellagio in its prime, or if you're paying $400 per night expecting perfection, you might notice the ways it's not quite living up to its reputation anymore. MGM knows Bellagio is their flagship property. They're investing in renovations, they're maintaining the fountains and the conservatory, they're keeping standards high for high-roller guests. But can Bellagio ever be what it was? Can you recapture that original magic when you're 27 years old, competing against properties that learned from your success, and operating under a leaseback structure that prioritizes cash flow? Maybe, but it requires significant capital investment beyond cosmetic renovations. New technology, infrastructure upgrades, reimagining spaces that were designed in the 1990s. The truth is, Bellagio doesn't need to be number one to succeed. It's still profitable, still iconic, still a bucket list destination for millions of tourists. But it's no longer the clear crown jewel. It's one of several excellent luxury options on the Strip. And for a property that once stood alone at the top, that's a form of decline, even if it's still successful by any objective measure. And maybe that's okay. Maybe it's unrealistic to expect a 27-year-old property to maintain the same standard it set when it opened. Or maybe it's a reminder that in Las Vegas, nothing stays on top forever.